Namaste. When a woman falls in love with the Lord and shows her ultimate true devotion, it can take many forms. There are many examples where women saints have seen the Lord Himself as their child, as their husband, as their lover, and in many other forms. Just like Sri Radha, when woman expresses her true devotion to the Lord, it can take the form of the ultimate love and can set an example as to what true love actually means. Today, we pay tribute to the women saints of India who have composed poems, who have sung poems, who have inspired others to take up the path of true devotion towards the Lord. Akka Mahadevi. Akka Mahadevi is one powerful saint not just known for her devotion but her strong opposition to certain orthodox practices and patriarchy. She is a pillar of the Lingayat movement of Karnataka who contributed immensely to the Kannada literature. She was born to a couple who were great Shiva devotees and thus named her Mahadevi. As she grew up watching her parents devoted to the service of Lord Shiva, she too spent most of her time with the Lord. She sat before the Shiva Linga and worshipped him all day. As she started to grow, she started writing and singing many poems in the glory of the Lord. As time passed, she started spending time only with the animals and birds whom she believed would take her to Lord Shiva. She spent so much time that she even forgot about her parents. It was during one such time that a king called Kaushika saw her. It is said that she was extremely beautiful with lovely locks of hair. The king instantly fell in love with her and wanted to marry her. She tried to refuse the king, but the king coerced her and forcefully wanted to marry her. Although Mahadevi was reluctant, she wrote a poem to the king laying down her conditions for the marriage. Among these conditions were that she would not be touched by him unless she agrees to and would like to spend more time with Lord Shiva. Another condition is that she would engage in debates and discussions with spiritual scholars and other intellectuals and would compose poems in the glory of Lord Shiva. However, the king agreed to the conditions. But as time flew, it made him angry to see her always in the presence of Lord Shiva or debating with highly knowledgeable intellectuals or writing poems while completely ignoring the king. When the angered king questioned her, she realized that this was not meant for her. This place was not hers. She accepted Lord Chenna Mallikarjuna, which is how she refers to Lord Shiva, as her true husband and declared that she is renouncing this world. As she renounced, she gives back to the king everything that the king had given to her, including her clothes and her jewelry. And renouncing every single thing, she walked out of the palace and the kingdom, with her mind only and only set on Lord Shiva. With her naked body covered only by the long tresses of her hair, she enters the Anubhava Mandapa, a guild for the spiritual saints and scholars. Here she meets other saints of the Lingayat movement, discusses and debates about spiritual knowledge. For the rest of her life, she contributes immensely to the Lingayat movement Kannada literature and writes numerous poems dedicated to spirituality, the material world and Lord Shiva. These were called as Vachana. The uniqueness of her Vachana was in the fact that it was extremely simple but absolutely meaningful and profoundful. While everyone in the guild addressed her as Akka or elder sister, and thus she came to be known as Akka Mahadevi. Lalleshwari. Lalleshwari was the saint of the Kashmir Shaivism school of Hindu philosophy. This lesser known saint has in fact played a very important role in Indian history. She hailed from Kashmir. She created a style of mystic poetry called as Vatsan or Vak, literally meaning speech. Most of her story is collected from oral tradition and very few written texts and thus have many inconsistencies. But her devotion to Lord Shiva and the profoundness of her writing is clearly without any doubt. Her works were also one of the earliest known Kashmiri literature. She was married at the age of 12. But it is said that due to ill treatment, she left the house at the age of 24 and became an ardent devotee of Lord Shiva. She went around as a renunciate and taking alms when she met her guru Siddha Shrikant, who initiated her into the path of devotion. It is said that she appears to travelers in the forest and speaks works of compositions on Lord Shiva. She played a crucial role in the continuity of the Shaivism on Kashmir. She is iconic in representing Shaiva Advaita and the concept of going beyond the body consciousness, and her poems reflect the same. Her devotion was expressed in the form of becoming a union with the higher self or Brahman. Her poems also later influenced many Sufi saints who were inspired by her. One of her poems is very beautiful and goes, I rejected every false belief. I immersed myself only in my inner voice. Ultimately, I saw myself looking deep into myself, and I knew it to be you, God, in every speck. Karaikal Ammayar. Karaikal Ammayar forms an important role in the Shaivite Bhakti movement of the South India. She becomes a part of the only 3 women saints of the 63 Nayanma saints of Tamil Nadu. She was a beautiful maiden, a great devotee of the Lord Shiva, and was married to Paramadattan. One day, Paramadattan brought home 2 mangoes given by some merchants. When a Shiva yogi visited her, she fed them well and served them one of the mangoes. Later, while serving lunch to her husband, he asks for her to bring the second mango after eating the first. Punidavati, which is her true name, who had given the mango earlier to the Shiva yogi, went to the kitchen and prayed to Lord Shiva, not knowing what to do. A mango fell on her lap and she immediately took that to her husband and served it. The husband became skeptical because the mango was extremely delicious as compared to the first one. When he questioned her, she told him what had happened, but he did not believe her, and he did not believe in any miracles. When she prayed to Lord Shiva once again and gave the third mango to him, he thought that she was an abnormal being, and getting scared, he ran away from home. Later, she prayed to Lord Shiva to take away her beauty so that nobody would disturb her and she could spend the rest of her life in the devotion of Lord Shiva. Her devotion to Lord Shiva reflected in the fact that she considered herself as a part of Shiva's contingent. It is said that once she walked all the way to Mount Kailash only on her hands without the feet touching the ground, and similar forms of worship exist even today and can be attributed to her. Her devotion had no bounds. As for her, she was a devotee and a servant of Lord Shiva. These women saints were not just personification of ultimate devotion, but also show their profound knowledge through their poems of both material as well as the spiritual world. They also strongly resisted many orthodox practices, broke superstitions, and challenged patriarchy when it existed. True to their culture, they explained to the world that practices and customs are merely materialistic, and the true purpose of life lies in the quest for the higher truth, which can be attained only through surrender and absolute devotion to the higher Lord Himself. Namaste, Jai Hind.
The 5th day of Navratri is dedicated to goddess Skandamata. Skanda refers to Lord Kartikeya and Mata means mother. Hence, she is the motherly incarnation of goddess Durga. With 4 arms, Ma Skandamata rides a lion. She carries a lotus in one hand and a bell in the other. The third hand is always raised in a blessing pose while she holds Skanda in the fourth hand. She blesses devotees with kindness, wisdom, and salvation.